So what we're doing next is a stiff-legged deadlift. Now, the way this differs from a Romanian deadlift is the position of the knees and how you hinge forward. So with the stiff-legged deadlift, you still want to situate your feet to be directly straight and under the hip to engage the hamstrings more, slightly pulling the knees apart, like you've got a little band above your knees and you're creating that tension. But additionally, from the feet, you want to imagine that you're stretching the floor. So it's like you're pulling the feet laterally as well, just enough as you descend down, which will engage the lateral portion of the hamstrings also. Now, the next thing is the bar starting point. With an RDL, you will unrack it off the rack. With a stiff-legged deadlift, traditionally, you pick it up off the floor. I don't have any weight, so I'm just going to do it this way. Position my hands to be directly under my shoulders and my hands will be on top. I just find that comfortable. Probably use the strap, to be honest with you, just so you're not having to think about your grip. Now, the next thing is to make sure your toes stay grounded and you're not lifting up your toes as you descend down. So keep your foot grounded, stretch your floor, knees open. All right, there's a few things to remember, but once you get it, it's worthwhile focusing on. Now, an RDL, you have the bar close to your legs. A stiff-legged deadlift, you have the bar slightly away from your legs, which creates more leverage and tension on the hamstrings. Now, the last thing is the knee flexion. You don't want to be over flexing the knees, which disengages the hammies, and you don't want to be so locked out that you're just jamming up and you're getting your lower back. There has to be a tiny bit of slack in the knee. Whereas an RDL, there's probably a little bit more slack in the knee to allow more flexion through the hip. So you just have to play around with that. So closer lockout, slightly bend it, bar away, shoulders back, position your feet the way I explained, and then lean down with a nice flat back until you feel your hamstrings stretch. Unfortunately, that's the limit I have. And then you just push your feet into the floor to stand up, slightly leaning forward into the weight without standing up completely and disengaging your hamstrings. Okay, you'll take a lot longer to develop your hamstrings if you keep doing that, so make sure you lean into it. And then drop and up, drop and up, drop and up. So